Welcome viewers. In this video, we will learn how to develop Lorentz series expansion of an analytic complex function. So first of all, we look at the statement. We consider here two contours which is concentric at a point z equal to z0. The contour C1 and the contour C2, two circles. And also we consider a complex function which is only analytic in this region, in between the region C1 and C2. In this region the function of z is analytic. So the statement is as follows: if function of z is analytic in the interior and on the boundary of the circle ring between C1 and C2, which means if we consider a circular ring in this region in between C1 and C2, then within this ring at every point and also on the boundary the function of z is analytic. Then the function of z can be expressed about the point z0 given by this relation. So we can see the function of z is expressed as a series consisting of two series, this part and this part. Here we find z minus z0 to the power n, and this is 1 by z minus z0 to the power n prime. Here an and bn prime is defined by these integrations. Here an is integrated over contour C1 and bn prime is integrated over the contour C2. So we will try to derive the Lorentz expansion of function of z, analytic function. For this we need two important results, namely Cauchy integral formula, which is given by this relation. Here xi is a running complex variable and this integration is done on an arbitrary contour C, and I is an imaginary number. Also the second important result is nth derivative of function of z, which is given by this relation. So this derivative we can only use if the function of z is analytic at z equal to z0 point. However, in our consideration the function of z is only analytic in this region. Function of z is not analytic at point z equal to z0. Therefore we will use only the first result and we will not consider the nth derivative of function of z in our derivation. We will do the proof of Lorentz series expansion of function of z using 4 steps. So let us discuss the first step. In our first step we will take out the two contour from this figure. We take these two contours and redraw it, and we bounded this region using these two contours, and we take a direction around C1 contour which is clockwise. However, in C2 contour the direction is around C1 it is anti-clockwise and around C2 it is clockwise, and the convention is that if the integration is along anti-clockwise direction it will be positive, and if it is around the clockwise direction then it will be negative. Now we use Cauchy integral formula for this whole contour. for this closed contour. So we write it, the C1 contour and C2 contour, in two parts using Cauchy integral formula. So over C1 contour this is comes as positive, however over C2 contour this comes as negative because the sense of direction is clockwise. We call this part as analytic part and we call this part as principal part, and we write it down as FAZ and this is as FPZ. And to develop Lorentz series expansion we need to evaluate analytic part and principal part. So the next or second step in our calculation is to develop function of analytic part, which stated in earlier page. To evaluate analytic part we consider again the two contours C1 and C2. This is C1 and this is C2 on complex plane. Here Z0 is center and here we consider the xi on over the C1 and the complex variable z is in between the region in between C1 and C2. We can draw the position vectors of these 3 points z, z0 and xi, and we can see the differences. These differences is termed as z minus z0, this length, and this difference is termed as xi minus z0, and the difference between these 2 points is termed as xi minus z. So as you can see from this picture, this length is obviously is less than from this length. This is expressed in here as mod z minus z0 is less than mod xi minus z0. Now we defined a quantity which is the ratio of these two lengths, and obviously this term is less than this term, so Ka should be less than 1. Now we subtract unity from both sides and get 1 minus Ka by this relation. When we calculated it, it will stand like xi minus z by xi minus z0. Now we just change the sides of the terms. I write it here on left hand side 1 by xi minus z, and this term is as it is here, and I take this term on the right hand side which is inverse of 1 minus Ka. We can see that 1 minus xi minus z, 1 minus xi minus z0, this term can be written as 1 plus Ka plus K square as Ka less than 1. So we simplified this series in this form where the summation is run from n equal to 0 to infinity, and we substitute K here and we will get the series expansion of 1 by xi minus z, which is z minus z0 to the power n by xi minus z to the power n plus 1. See, we find the expansion of 1 minus xi minus z because we wanted to evaluate the analytic part where it contains this term 1 by xi minus z. So this term we get the series expansion, and we are going to substitute this term here in the analytic part, and we find this form of analytic part. Here 1 by 2 pi with this integration is termed as an with z minus z0 to the power n. So we able to evaluate the analytic part, which is this. Now we have to develop the expression of principal part fpz. Since the principal part is the integration over contour C2, that's why the running variable will be on the contour C2, and z is as usual will be in the region between C1 and C2. This is C1 and C2. Because the function that we have considered here is always analytic between this region, therefore this variable z variable will always be in this region. So here one can see that the length z minus z0 is greater than from xi minus z0. So we write it down here, xi minus z0 less than z minus z0. We define kp by using this two term, xi minus z0, z minus z0. The target is to develop the series expansion of z minus xi using these two lengths that already we have done in the same way in the analytic part of the function. Now we are going to do in the principal part of the function. So since this is less than this term, so kp always be less than 1. Now we again subtract from both sides unity, and we get 1 minus kp, 1 minus xi minus z0, z minus z0. The simplified form is this, and we change the sides of the terms. We take 1 by z minus xi, that is this length. So this length can be given by 1 by z minus z0, that is here, and this term comes to the right hand side with inversion 1 minus kp to the power minus 1. Now we expand this series as kp is less than 1. So this gonna be like this, 1 by z minus xi, 1 minus z minus z0, 1 plus kp square, since kp is less than 1. So we represent this as series expansion, and this term stands 1 by z minus z0, and we substitute the value of kp, which is this. So we substitute here, and we get 1 by z minus xi as xi minus z0 to the power n in this form. So we wanted to evaluate the principal part, which contains 1 by z minus xi, that we developed the series expansion of 1 by z minus xi, and where we see that one can substitute this term here, and from rearranging the terms we get the form of principal part in this form, where this bracketed terms is called bn, and here we are going to change the index of the summation from n to n prime by substituting n plus 1 equal to n prime when n equal to 0, n prime equal to 1. Therefore the summation will run from n prime equal to 1 to infinity. The n plus 1 will be replaced by n prime, and this n will be n prime minus 1. So this term is bn prime. So we will get the principal part fpz as bn prime by z minus z0 to the power n prime equal to 1. So we able to derive the principal part and the analytic part, and now the final step is to assemble these two results, and we will get the Lorentz expansion of function of z given by this relation, which is our target to prove, where an equal to given by this relation and bn prime given by this relation. So that is all for now. Hope you like the video. Please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe my video. Thank you.